Contango kills VXX.
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 Yes, this is a good one.
Right.
A lot of people try to trade these, so I think this is a good primer for if you are trading these. A lot of good things to know in this segment here. So, talking about VXX. VXX is the S&P 500 VIX Futures ETN, which is an exchange-traded note. So you're trading futures products via this ETF. The ETF holds futures. That's why it's an ETN versus an ETF, which is a fund which holds physical shares. So these are
It holds those VIX futures, which are /VX, which I quote every day numerous times.
Yes, those are notes. Those are contracts, not physical equities,
That's right.
which like SPY owns shares of
SPY.
Well, no, the underlying assets.
Oh, the underlying
it doesn't
S&P
track
500.
them.
Yes.
It owns physical shares. So these are notes that trade the futures. Overall, it behaves much like long VIX or VX futures positions, but it has a very high short-term correlation with the VIX. So if you're trading VXX, it moves day-to-day like the VIX on a day-to-day basis. Median reading of around 0.9 is our correlation, meaning they almost always move in the same direction in the short run. So, when you think of trading volatility and you look at a correlation, you would expect VIX and VXX to perform the same. They do on a day-to-day basis. There are things to consider, though, when you are looking to trade these products, which is what we're going to get to here. So on to the next slide. However, the long-term story looks very different. And when people are trading any of these products, I tell them to zoom out on the charts years and years. And these prices have never been traded, and we're going to get to why. But while the VIX tends to mean revert within a relatively narrow range, so we talk about this all the time of when volatility gets low, it tends to expand, and then it kind of clusters and so on and so forth. And you can see it here for years and years and years. It's kind of clustered in ranges. You get a big pop. Sometimes it goes to lower spots, but it kind of goes in this median range of somewhere around 20. VXX consistently loses most of its value over time. Even though they move together day to day, VXX decays because of how it's built. So when you look at a chart of VXX and you look to January of 2010 and you say, wow, it was trading at 8,000 a share, it was never trading at 8,000 a share. That's just because of all the splits that happen throughout the life of these products because they go to zero. They actually would be zero if not for these splits, and we're going to get into why that is.
Very good.
So the next slide here, VXX drag, which is what pulls it down over time. The effect comes from how it's structured and what it tracks. So the drag is different from the one found in leveraged ETFs. So this is a drag because of the role of the futures contract. VXX doesn't track the VIX index itself. It tracks a rolling position in the front 2 monthly contracts of the VIX futures. So this basket changes. So at one point,
and the closer you get to expiration, it changes.
Closer to expiration, and the overall makeup of VXX and some of the other ones like UVXY have changed over the years. They used to be much more weighted towards the front contract. It's now much more spread out. And so this drag is even bigger, or it's lesser than what it was, but the upside to these products has kind of dulled because it's not really all front VIX contracts. What it means for these products is that it's consistently selling expiring contracts and buying the next month contract, maintaining a long volatility exposure, but creating a built-in headwind over time. You're selling out of front volatility, which is typically higher than back volatility. You're selling out of the front to buy back volatility, which is typically higher than what it is in the front. That's a contango, and there's a drag to that. And we're going to talk about why this causes these prices to go down on this next slide here. Most of the time, the VIX futures curve is in contango, and this is a look at right now. So you have volatility futures, around 19.5 right now. The next contract is trading at about 20. And so you're selling the close front month contract and buying to open the new back month contract. And there's a spread there. So you're selling at 19.5 and you're buying at 20. You're losing that 50 ticks in between those two contracts. And this happens month after month for a long period of time. And the VIX futures curve is mostly in contango. So when the VIX rolls forward, it sells cheaper front month contracts, buys more expensive next month contracts, and that value loss occurs in basically each roll. Since this happens roughly 80% of the time, the effect compounds and steadily drags VXX lower. So 80% of the time we're in Contango, and so 80% of the time there's going to be a cost to roll these futures, and so there's
That's the drag that we're talking about. So it does not make for a good long-term hold, right? I mean, if you're bullish on this, does it make for a good long-term hold if you're bearish on it?
If you're bearish on the market?
Bearish, right, thinking bearish on VXX. Forget about it. I know it does for volatility. Volatility is more mean reverting. So if it's going to have this movement to it.
Yeah, why is it the free money trade?
Yeah.
It works until it doesn't.
Sure. If you go back to slide 2 for just a quick second, I don't mean to break your rhythm here.
Yeah.
But if you go back to slide 2 for just a second, I apologize.
This is the one with the
big
VIX and the yeah.
You'll see how it goes. Or theoretically, slide 2, please.
Yeah, if we can. Don't do that.
Production slide 2, please.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh no, that's the next one.
That's 5. That's
this
5.
Is fine.
Production.
This is fine. But this goes to the point.
Go ahead.
When markets are stressed, the VIX curve flips into backwardation. Short-term futures become more expensive than the later ones. In these moments, VIX sells high and buys low, briefly gaining value as volatility spikes. So when you get into these backwardation situations, there's actually what is called a drift. So you're selling out of 28 and you're buying 26. And there's a 2-point value add that actually pumps the value of these products up from this roll versus Contango, which drags them lower. And you'll see on the next slide, which will kind of show what you're talking about here. You have these very big, brief spikes, and a lot of times the things you don't consider with these is that volatility of volatility also expands. And so when you're short these products, yes, for the majority of the time, let's just say it's 80% of the time or more, the product goes down. And so, being short these in some way certainly is a quote unquote good trade. The problem becomes if you over leverage in these trades and you are not able to withstand these spikes, which can go a lot higher and a lot bigger than you expect sometimes. Like a volatility pop to 25 in the VIX futures, you're probably fine. And there's no, if you're sizing correctly, but you have to withstand the 40 or 50 VIX potential at some point here during, market sell-offs. Like if you have something major that happens and that can persist for a extended period of time. This isn't just
longer than you want.
Yeah, longer than you want. And it might not be one day. And that'll change margin requirements. That'll change the risk of the position. It doesn't, selling VIX calls or selling VXX calls, the volatility of those calls will expand into this move. So you get whacked on both of those aspects of the trade.
Very good.
So getting into here, so like other volatility products, VXX is extremely volatile and attracts active traders and speculators. It's designed as a short-term trading or hedging vehicle, not a buy and hold instrument. So, we typically look to these as like a long play to the upside, but on a very short duration, like 1 day, 1 week, like that's the sort of trading that you're doing here. Over longer time horizons, the drag effect dominates, eroding its value. And you can see the average returns here, they're negative daily returns. On a weekly, they're negative. On monthly, annually. If you held this, you're at 0 over a 5-year period, despite, COVID and tariff tantrum and Japanese unwind, the carry trade, all sorts of huge market events. If you held VXX, you are basically 0. You've lost 98%. So it just tells you that these sort of things are meant for short-term trading.
Yes.
And from the short side, the spikes that you get are problematic. But
in the markets can be quite wide. I mean, becomes a very slippery slope.
Yes.
To trade.
This slide is kind of just throwing the peeps under the bus here of basically why do these exist. They exist pretty much for just fee collection here as these products. I mean, they do hold the purpose. And if you are looking for short-term hedges, These are great. I think a lot of people get caught up in these products and others like an SQQQ or TQQQ even. Like a lot of these products, they're just not meant for long-term holding, and that's really where the problems come in. So let's jump to the last slide here. Just a couple takeaways here. So VXX is an ETN that tracks short-term VIX futures, not the VIX index itself. Those are two different things. Because the VIX futures are in contango most of the time, VXX suffers from persistent drag that erodes its value. It performs best as a short-term hedge or a speculative trade during volatility spikes, not as a long-term investment. As well as on the flip side of this, you have to be able to withstand large spikes in VXX if you are going to take the other side of this coin and play it to go to zero. Just keep in mind that things can get big.